You never want to buy it when everybody loves it. And of course, we have the few distractors, but certainly not BlackRock. The problem now is it's such a known from someone like me. It's like, I mean, I modeled it 5 years ago. Here's exactly where supply is going to be in 10 years. And people like, okay, I know, done. I remember explaining it to a good person, a good hedge fund manager who said, how pointed out how cheap GBTC was back in December, which is still one of my major calls this year, pointing out, he was talking about supply. I'm like, there's no issue with supply. It's a no, next subject. So I just ignore it. And the key thing I'm concerned about is when everybody says the same thing, I tweaks my Benjamin Disraeli rule about what we all anticipate.
The senior commodity strategist at Bloomberg, Mike McGlone, thinks Bitcoin's price action in the third quarter could be a leading indicator of what could happen next to the stock market after the NASDAQ 100 Futures Index has overperformed Bitcoin in both July and August. Notably, after months of relative strength against the NASDAQ 100 Index, up 2%, Bitcoin has started showing relative weakness in the last 2 months, dropping 15% in the third quarter to September 1. Mike McGlone explains that this is a meaningful divergence due to Bitcoin being the best performing asset in history, which could lead to one of two probable outcomes. The stock market follows Bitcoin poor price action in a recession, or Bitcoin continues to lose in performance versus NASDAQ 100 in a unique moment for both markets. Let us now get into the video as Mike McGlone explains the context behind each of the probable outcomes. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your comments below.
World is realizing how unstoppable the U.S. system is. First of all, autocratic leaders like we have in the SEC right now will not last long, and history will judge him like Aaron Burr. And also, he's not the most attractive. It's just funny how this is playing out like I can't wait to write the book. I mean, if Mr. Gensler raised his hand and said, yes, I want to be the bad guy of history. Okay, well, good luck with that one. Push back in technology, just good luck, dude. I mean, the thing is, I've seen it before in a CFTC. I worked directly with him, with regulators, and okay, that worked okay for him, but it's just a matter of time. So one thing also I want to push back and point out where we need to disagree. If we don't, we're not worth anything. Is I agree with you. Bitcoin will. I disagree with you. It's not trading like it's an option in the future anymore. And that's where I want to give you where I came into this space. Is I started at Bloomberg 2017 when I saw that big pump. I wrote about it a little bit, and then I saw, okay, this is going to dump. This is silly. And I wrote about it for months until 2018. Got a lot of pushback. Put some calls that are really low. We got almost all the way there. But I flipped my switch, and that was April 2019, and I got really bullish. But here's the big difference. At Bloomberg, it was still major pushback. There was the amount of coverage, and it was still, no one cares about it. And that's what I felt as a strategist. That's what you want. I was a contrarian. No one really agreed with me. McGlone's an idiot. This is just silly internet money. That was kind of the pushback in this major, this most significant financial organization on the planet. It's the opposite now. It's just we have so much coverage of Bitcoin and cryptos and on my screens. It's because that's what's changed versus the last time I got really bullish when it was around 5,000. Now I have to keep the bear stance until I think something trades in macro. At least show me that option, and the option you're showing me, show me that outperformance. It's not doing it. It's still underperforming again on a daily, monthly, weekly basis for about the last 2 years. Total amount in gold ETFs is about 180 billion, which means two things. Like you said, maybe it means Bitcoin's overvalued. It means there might not be that much going into Bitcoin because it's 180 billion gold and it's been around since 2004. The first one. Or the key thing I'm worried about is one lesson in life is never forget where you're from. And the store value, I'm worried about the value of the store. So I'll just look at a few statistics about Bitcoin. If you bought Bitcoin in 2017, right about December, so it's 7 years ago,
and
you bought the
top.
Well before the top. So if you bought it, I think it was around, I have it well before. So it was 12,000, 15,000 or so, well before the top. And you bought the NASDAQ at the same time. And the whole year, if you just did the average, you're at the same level, same performance as the NASDAQ, yet your volatility has been so much higher. So this is what I'm worried what's going to happen is we all say the same thing. It's the known. It's, oh, the institutions are coming. I just heard it so much. When we launched the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index, I fully expect at some point we're going to have ETFs tracking that. That's been 5 years. It's going to happen. But the point is, it's the value to store. If you're a money manager and for the first time in history in 20 years, the Fed's not there to help you. You start losing money. The boomers are taking out all the condos, all the property you bought in the last 10, 20 years goes down in a normal recession when the Fed's still tightening despite collapsing PPI. You don't have value to store. Why would you buy an underperforming asset? And I just pointed out, it's been versus the NASDAQ now, it's almost seven years of underperformance.
Bitcoin miners are pondering the refund of a hefty $500,000 Bitcoin fee paid by crypto services company Paxos for a mere $2,000 Bitcoin transaction earlier this week, an incident the latter blamed was due to a bug. Paxos' transaction was picked up by the mining company Stakefish, which uses its computing resources to mine and stake several networks. Stakefish founder Chun Wang said in an X post earlier this week that whoever was behind that transaction had 3 days to claim the transaction and likely receive a refund. A Bitcoin fee is what a user pays to miners or entities who maintain the network to get their transaction included in the blockchain. The more a user pays, the higher the chance their transaction will be picked up immediately as miners prioritize bigger payouts. Paxos runs a crypto exchange and issues its own USDP stable coins, making it one of the most sophisticated players in the industry. Last Sunday, however, an apparent bug in the corporate operations side of the business led to a network fee of 20 Bitcoin, worth just over $515,000 at the time, to send just 0.7 Bitcoin, worth less than $2,000, Paxos said in an email to news outlets. These fees usually range from $5 to $20, depending on network congestion and demand as of Thursday. Paxos likely reached out to Stakefish to claim the fees, but in a Thursday post on X, Stakefish's Wang suggested the claim was made after the initial deadline, citing time zone differences. I was annoyed and regretted agreeing to refund that 20 Bitcoin, Wang said. Especially when I saw the person claiming it kept saying EST instead of EDT to UTC. Last time a Zcash guy did that, I blocked his entire company. An X poll under Wang's post seemed to gather community sentiment for the eventual decision. Of nearly 4,811 voters as of Asian afternoon hours, 35.9% felt the fees should be distributed to miners, 28.9% felt it should be returned to Paxos, 19.2% voted on freezing the Bitcoin, while the remaining favored a 50% split between miners and Paxos. 50-50th seems reasonable, said Chango, a Cosmos developer. 50% to miners in the network who should have gotten it otherwise. 50% back to Paxos and let them appreciate the 50% cost of doing business and learn how to properly implement change outputs. They've been around long enough to know better than to make such an amateur mistake. Do you think this was a more rational approach to the matter? What do you also think of Bitcoin underperformance? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.